This is a love reading for Scorpio for October 2017. So to begin with, excuse me, you're in a relationship, or you will be in a relationship with somebody that is a karmic relationship. Okay, so that means that you have a lesson to learn from them. Now, I feel like you may not have fully believed that they were your soulmate when you first met them, but there was so much chemistry between you guys. There was so much sexual attraction, and they really did create a fun, playful relationship for you that you didn't want to let it go. You weren't willing to give it up, and you really wanted to give the relationship a chance, okay? Now, this person, I feel like, could have put some sort of ultimatum on you, saying like, hey, like, I'm not gonna be in a relationship where there's not a commitment. Like, I want to get married, or I want to be in a committed relationship. Like, I love you. I think you're my soulmate. So you have to give me that, right? And I think that you probably also put down your own gauntlet, saying that, hey, like, okay, I'll give you, this commitment you want, but I don't want kids, okay? Like, I'm just not ready for it, or I don't ever want children. Like, there's some sort of ultimatum about kids. And I think that person probably, at the time that you met them, they either were like, okay, I don't want kids either, so we're good on that. We can just get married or be in a committed relationship, and we don't have to have children. Or they lied about it, okay, and they just said, oh yeah, I don't want kids either, because they wanted to be with you, okay? Or they could have felt that way at the time, and then later on down the line, after you've been together, they realize they do want kids, okay? Now, there is some sort of sneakiness, okay? It's either that, like, they change their mind and they want kids now, or there may be some sort of sneaky way of becoming pregnant. So, like, stopping taking your birth control, poking holes in the condom, like, there's something that could maybe not be kosher, but at the same time, it could just be that you get pregnant by accident, okay? Now, when this happens, like, when you get pregnant in some way or fashion, because if they do sneakily get pregnant, like, or if you decide to sneakily get pregnant by somebody, the other person's not going to know. They're not going to know, so it's neither here nor there. For them, it will be just like, we got pregnant by accident, okay? So if that's the case, when that happens, it's going to convince you that, like, this person is your soulmate. I definitely feel like you weren't like 100% convinced, but you didn't want to lose them, so you went ahead with it, with getting together and being committed. But when the children come along, that is when you're going to be like, wow, actually, you are my soulmate, okay? But for the time being, right, currently, okay, I do feel like, are stepping out in some way, either cheating or flirting with other people. It could be any sort of scenario where you would be giving attention to somebody else, okay? And I think that it's possible that, like, if you are cheating or doing this, that that could just stay that way. Like you would stay in your relationship, you would have your kids, but maybe you'd always have some sort of connections with other people, okay, on the side. Or it is something that could lead to a breakup, but I do feel like it's leaning the other way, okay? It's leaning the way of that it may just always be that way. And the person that you would be with, the person you're in a committed relationship with, like, they would be none the wiser. Like, they really, like, would not know that you were ever cheating on them or talking to somebody else. So, like, it wouldn't be an issue for them per se, like, because I don't feel like they'd ever find out. But, like, the reason why I say that it could lead to a breakup is not so much necessarily that they would find out about cheating, but it could be that you might always have doubts that they were the one. So, like, there could come a day, someday, where you would say, like, I want out because I don't feel like I truly love you. Like, I don't feel like you're my soulmate. But, so, you know, and honestly, I mean, it could be all of those things at the same time. Like, you could be with this person, you could feel like they're your soulmate when you have children with them, but you're also cheating every now and then later on in life, you would feel like, I never actually truly felt that way. So it's a very complicated read, and you know, Scorpios are a very complicated sign because you know they are very secretive. So I think it is difficult for Scorpios to really understand how they truly feel in relationships. And so I think you struggle with that, but I think that for the time being, you are pretty happy. You're, I think though, I do feel like though for you to have children, it is going to have to be some sort of like sneakiness or mistake or something like that, because you wouldn't, I don't feel like you would choose to have children on your own. Or if you did, you would have to, there would be a long period of time of trying to convince you to have children. So, but one thing that you should realize though is that when you do have kids, because I know there's a lot of worry in connection with having children, that you really will enjoy it. Like, more than anything, you'll feel like your children are your soulmate. So, you know, just try to keep that in mind. I know it's like hard to wrap your head around, but your children really will be your soulmate. You will have so much fun with them, watching them grow up and helping them, you know, helping raise them. You know, just try not to base everything on your sexual chemistry, because I do feel like you do that. Like when you're in a relationship, you often will base the whole thing around if the sex is good or not. And I think that sometimes, you know, you really need to find that heart-to-heart connection with the person you're with. Because if you do that, if you really do try to let them in and not be so secretive, you will find that they're your soulmate. You just have to try not to fight it so hard. Okay? So, I hope you enjoyed this. Let me know if you want a more in-depth reading. Contact me for a personal reading. But otherwise, I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for listening, and take care.